You're doing it wrong. Creature baits are coming back, dude. In massive vengeance, especially this time of year when you've got bass and all that stuff with their heads down, looking at crustaceans and shrimps and all kinds of things like that. That's where you need a creature bait. And I've been talking to some pros, I guess, and I was doing it wrong. So here's 4 ways to rig your creature baits so they work, man. This is what I learned, and I'm sharing it with you lot. Okay, whew. A little bit cold out here today, but like I said, I've been talking to some of the pros, dude, about creature baits. I've got a couple of ways to rig these just so you can get the optimal performance out of these. Am I a pro at creature baits? No, I'm absolutely not. That's why I reached out and I talked to somebody, so I'm going to share it with you. First way, dude, I really think there's some fish out there. First way, what we're going to do is we're going to look at rigging them on a Ned rig. Straight shank hook, and it's got like a little mushroom top right here. And it's for a little bit more finesse kind of action, more of like when they're not biting, when you want to go slower. It helps the lure to stand up, like in a prone position. Pretty much rig it like you would any other soft plastic. What you want to do is you just take this, buddy, and butt it up to where the jig head part is going to go, and you want to put your thumb, or you can nick where you think that hook point's going to come out, and just feed it like any other lure, dude. Bum bum bum, all the way down to where that nick is. That's where your hook point wants to come out. Try and get it in the middle, just like that. Then you slide it down the rest of the hook. Boom. There you go. Just like that. It's not weedless. It's got the hook point showing. But when this is in the water, especially with a floating one, this one is, because the claws float, it'll sit on the bottom just like that. Give it a couple little twitches, and it's sitting in the prone position all the time, dude. Another way you can rig it is with a cheb weight. What a cheb weight is used for is it gives the lure a little bit more freedom of action. A weedless hook, no weight on it or anything like that. Take your hook and turn it backwards on the back end of the body. Lay it down like that. Put your thumb there. That's where your hook point's going to come out first. Boom. Just like that. Boom. And your hook point's out. Then you slide it all the way up, and you want to give it a turn like so. So it slides up that little shank bit, and then your hook eye is coming out of the top there. Then you lay it next to your soft plastic bait. You want to guess where that hook point's going to come out. I usually just use my thumb, and then over. It's a little bit tight on these soft plastics, and then through, just like that. Then what you want to do is you want to put your cheb on. So the cheb weight comes with a little pin. You want to take that pin out. Don't lose your weight. Get your lure, and you want to make sure that this pin is in your hook correctly. So you want this little bendy up bit, you want that at the top of your bait. So we're going to go up and back down so it's facing up like that. Then you get your weight, and you want to slide that pin right back on. You'll feel it click in there, and that's how you want that little teardrop spot, so the weight is flat, kind of, sort of. Another one that you can use is a jig head with all this frilly stuff on it. Why are you going to use a jig head with all kinds of frilly stuff on it? Because even though your creature baits have appendages that move around, adding a skirted jig head gives it more appendages, and it kind of gives it a more lifelike feeling. Rigging these is the same way you would rig a Ned rig, but because of the weed guard, this thing, there's a little bit of a trick to it. So what I like to do with these is, it's a pain in the butt to rig it like that. The weed guard keeps hitting it. So if you rig it sideways, kinda, and then turn it once the hook's in, you'd be all right. Same way as a Ned rig. Lay your soft plastic up to it like that. It's gonna come out about right there, I think. So lay it down sideways, get your hook point in there first so you don't have to jack around with it, and then you can turn it a little bit. It's a lot easier that way, I promise. Hook point out. Douche. Like so. Look at that. Damn, ding, ding, ding. And that is your skirted jig head. I mean, that on the bottom, that's gonna kick up a lot of stuff. It's got more appendages on it. Actually looking at it with the soft plastic on it, I'd probably eat that, dude. The next one, the next way we're gonna look at rigging these up, I've just started using like a lot on the canals and the rivers and stuff. And that is the Texas rig. Texas rig is absolutely something else. You can use it to get into quite heavy cover, man. And it doesn't snag up as much as a regular weedless jig head, things like that. Texas rigging is good for the bottom. And what happens is, I'll show you right now. So this takes a little bit more setting up than anything else. You're going to use a bullet weight. These are the decoy bullet weights. You're going to slide that onto your line with the thin part facing your rod tip. If I can see, just like so. So then it's on there. Oh, let me get my line. Then it's on your line like that. Then the next thing you want to do is get a bead. I like to use these little glass beads, these little guys right here. I don't know where you can get them, but I stole them from the missus, like, little crafty box thing. And then you take your same type, you want to put your hook on first. And this is the same type of hook that we used for the cheb. And you take it, just put your hook on, like so. And I'll show you why in a minute. So now you've got a moving sinker, like so. And what that does, in theory, that weight will drop first, leaving your creech bait to float down pretty much really naturally on its own. So remember with the cheb rig, what you did is you put this hook backwards, and you want your cheb rig, mark it with your thumb so the eye of the hook sticks out so you can put your cheb rig on. However, with this, what we want to do is we want to protect that knot. So you go down just a little bit more. So you can set it up there. I would do it to about probably right there. And then that hook will embed itself when you turn it, like so, inside of the bait. Your knot is now protected. Look at that. Boom. Protected knot. Those are 4 ways to rig your creature baits so you get more out of them. Skirted jig way, the Ned rig, Texas rig, and then you've got your cheb. And that's how you rig your creature baits, dude. Get more out of your creature bait and try and rig it these 4 ways when you go out. In the wintertime, when the water's colder, there are fish there. They're what we call the resident fish, but they got their heads down, man. They're not chasing.